Okay, welcome. Yeah, I was just seeing a Facebook post where a person put out a controversial conception that God and the devil is the same thing. God or Maya, God or the devil is the same thing. And there's so many speculations out there about this kinds of these many topics related to the universe and to God and all that. But the best explanation I've heard so far comes from the Vedic cosmology, cosmic conception of the universe and who created it, and as well as explanations of what's going on outside this universe. Okay? So, to explain it in relationship to how the Lord, how God and the devil, or this Maya, are the same, it needs an explanation because it causes confusion in many people because they just don't know how that shows up. How can God also be capable of tremendous suffering that is going on in this world if there is a God? I mean, why would He allow such things? And so that's why many people have disconnected God from the devil per se and say, no, he's just outside of the realm of God. And they make him into some fallen angel that has disconnected himself forever from the Lord, and because he just has no part in God and all that stuff. But that's just mainly a speculation and not people not understand how he shows up. So the Vedic conclusion about this is really interesting. So you can liken it to like God as the light, as light, and then that light casts a shadow. See, so when you see, this is how you could say the devil or the Maya is actually from the same being. It has a relationship. It's in the form of, there's God, the light, and then there's this darkness. See, so there's this darkness, and so if you to go deeper into this, we people need to know the Vedic understanding about who the living entities are. This includes us. Who are we? See, so the Vedas teach that we're actually a potency coming from God, and we have this tendency or nature. More nature. We have this nature is we need to take shelter of something. This is our nature. So we need to take shelter of, and we have a choice now because there's God's light, the truth, or the eternal light, and then there's God's shadow, this temporary manifestation in this world that they call darkness. Okay, so this is what the problem is the living entities in this world have taken shelter of this shadow manifestation of God. See, and when one does that, everything goes haywire. See, and because we're beings that need shelter, then we also end up serving who we've taken shelter of. We become a servant of the Lord's, this shadow of God, this shadow nature. And this is the idea it comes into where um, um, Christians say, and other religions, they say there's going to be a Messiah, a deliverer, and this also in India, they talk about saints and coming to deliver people out of this. And basically, all they do is 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 teach us how to take shelter of the light portion of God. So they call this in the Vedic terminology the spiritual energy. See, the spiritual energy, and then there's the material energy or potency. See, that's called the shadow. See, and so people are delivered out of this shadow identification and service, um, which is really faulty, and there's a lot of problems, a lot of inauspiciousness in serving that, becoming part of that. Um, so these deliverers come and they basically, in essence, bring us into knowledge of the spiritual Lord's light and who he is and what he is. So anyway, there's a lot of details in all of this. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, there's a lot of details in this, and let's see. So, okay, so this this also in the Vedic cosmology is teaches that this shadow and the beings taking shelter of the shadow portion, and they ended up doing very dark things. It just depends, very dark things, and and that's why there's chaos and problems and everything, and that's how, in a sense, uh, the Lord and the devil have a relationship. See, so anyway, true knowledge, is to learn about this relationship and learn how to get out of this situation. And this is usually very, very difficult if you don't have this kind of knowledge. And this is the point of in the Vedic lineage that I'm in. They talk about having a spiritual master who has this kind of knowledge and experience of the spiritual dimension or spiritual level of consciousness, and they help lead us into how to start to experience and be purified to the point of entering into this spiritual dimension. And that's where the fun is. That's where all the happiness is. It's being caught in this darkness, this shadow portion there. See, so we need to become extricated out of that, and that's the path we teach here. And basically, it's as easy as like taking up this chanting process, which is really amazing, because the light of God, the spiritual Lord, comes into this world as this name, like his names. It's like Christ, Jesus Christ, Lord Ram, Krishna, Lord Caitanya, Shiva. These are all spiritual names of the Lord, actually. And taking shelter of any one of them sincerely, especially if you're in association of those who have received that shelter, and because if you have received that shelter, those names, you will feel this relationship. You will feel uplifted by these names to the spiritual dimension just by chanting them. Okay? And that's another thing. That's kind of what we're teaching here, is to help people be lifted by these names of God. Like, especially if anybody has belief or faith in the name of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya, which is our line here, can very easily take to this and get the benefit of being raised to the spiritual platform. A lot of people are on their way to this being raised there, but they haven't quite made it. They're still like in process. Basically, usually their leaders and their gurus and teachers are not there themselves, so they can't really help their students come to that spiritual experience of the God energy, the true light. So people, if you want to make it quickly, if you consider yourself a follower of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya, Radha and Krishna, if you have association with those who are lifted to the spiritual platform by their chanting, and they have signs and symptoms, which is this ecstasy, this ecstatic feelings awakened, they're not of this world, they're spiritual feelings. And this is a symptom of an awakened soul. See? And if you're chanting and associating with these kinds of awakened souls, very quickly you awaken. It's like one candle lighting another candle that's their wick is there, but it's not lit. See, so they're like a jump starter from a car, a dead battery. They just jump it, and then the candle is lit or the battery is going. See, and then you're uplifted very easily by these names, which are transcendental. Anyway, this is the teaching of the Vedas, and also my own experience. It's like I'm not just talking out of my hat. I experienced this upliftment from this chanting, And it's wonderful. There's nothing like it. And many of my friends and students, they're also experiencing that. So I want to encourage people to take part in this wonderful way of becoming really truly happy again forever. Okay? And so, I think I'm going to stop here, unless anybody has some questions. Oh, we have so many people already. Should I stop here? No, you know what? I know what I'll do. I'll have. Oops. I'll have Tom cut this here. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Like jump starting the battery. Yeah. So anyway, we'll continue on here, and then Tom can cut this for the other thing. Maybe we'll use the whole thing. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I just this is fantastic. The Vedic understanding of life, and as well as this chanting to actually experience our spiritual roots, awakening. Everything is karma. Not everything. Karma is for those who are part of this shadow. Actually, part of the shadow. They're a living being who is taking shelter of the shadow, and now that gets into this teaching called the modes of nature. This is in Bhagavad Gita. That's part of the Vedic Conclusion. So these modes of nature, these are energies that when we take shelter of this dark shadow of God, these energies, we begin to become servants of these modes of nature: passion, ignorance, and goodness. Okay, we begin to be servants of these things, and we start to serve these energies. Okay, and it actually usually increases our darkness. Or it can increase, like if your consciousness is covered by this mode of ignorance, and see, that's the darkest mode, and you serve the mode of passion, which is a little lighter mode, you could say, a little brighter, lighter mode, then you can be uplifted to that level. And if you're in the mode of passion and you serve the energies of goodness, then you can be uplifted to that platform. And the best way, even in the modes of nature, is by association. So, like if I'm in the mode of ignorance and somebody around is at once is very helpful, and they want to help me, even though I'm this lost in this, dark, modi energy of ignorance, they want to help me, and they, associate with me, and they teach me. Oh yeah, come on, get a job, do this work and stuff like this. It can lift me up to the other mode. So you usually need a teacher or somebody to help you. And the same thing with goodness, like people in yoga or spiritual path in goodness, or Dalai Lama, people come to him, or these people, and to raise their consciousness from passion into goodness, being a good person and doing good deeds and stuff like that. And by associating with these teachers, it can raise your consciousness also. See? But ultimately, you could transcend everything. And that's really where it's at, is to transcend all these modes of material nature. It's all material. And live in the light, live in the truth, live in the eternal truth. Live in this eternal ecstasy. See? So that is, you get also a teacher, but they're considered spiritual master because they've mastered the spirit. They know it well, and they can help you, in being uplifted to that platform. Yeah, and that's basically, that's where we're operating here, is to help people who want to just transcend all of these modes of nature in the material shadow, because it's all in the shadow, and live in the true light of God, which is actually, it takes on more. See, a lot of people, they talk about God and God. They really don't know who God is, what God is. They don't even know who they are. Most people don't even know that they are meant to be subservient to either the spiritual potency, which is the light, or the darkness. That's our nature. We're to do. People don't know that, and they don't know the true nature of the light. And it's just a whole. It's a whole thing, to learn about that, and and they don't know the true nature of the darkness. They just act in it. And so anyway, the Vedas teach all about this for those who want to know and get extricated out of this. You can actually transcend this cycle of karma. See, this is what keeps people in a cycle of birth and death. Basically, they're serving these modes of nature. It keeps them always. They have to come back. Their spirit is encased in these false identifications and keeps coming back because of being attached to this darkness again and again and again, to go through this cycle of birth, maturing, and then old age, and then diseases, and then death, or any combination of all that, and then just over and over and over again. But this, if you can understand our spiritual nature and light this candle again, which is in all of us, basically what we call awaken our soul and its relationship to the light, which people call God. There's a lot of details in that, by the way, and we can get into that another time. Then you can transcend this karma. There's no more karma for you. You just live in the light. You live in ecstasy. You live in transcendental relationship with the spiritual Lord just by chanting his name. I was reading a scripture today where Lord Caitanya, who is considered an incarnation of that transcendental light or God, said, I incarnate in this Kali Yuga, which is this age, as the holy names. Okay? So those who are attached transcendentally to these transcendental names, they get out. They even while they're here, they're protected and they feel happy and content and at peace, and they overcome fear. You won't see them afraid of all the demons who are in the darkness, basically, and are causing a catastrophic event in the world now at this time. They won't be in fear of them because they have the truth, the eternal truth. Candles burn out. Okay, so Lolita, don't you want to come on, chant? Anybody else want to come on? Oh yeah, here, let me put the thing up here. Okay, there you go. Okay, I'll put it up here. Whoever wants to come on, we can chant together here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hey, the river, welcome. Thank you for coming. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hey, Lolita, all right. There they are. There are the girls. 3 girls here. That's what I like to see. 3 musketeers. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Yeah, you can put your sound on. We'll chant together.
Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare, Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna.
Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Hare,
Hare Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama.
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Rama
Krishna Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama Hare
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama Rama.
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
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 Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna Hare
Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare, Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Rama
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
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 Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare
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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama
Rama
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna
Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Rama Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Rama
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hey, River, you want to read a little bit, Chaitanya Bhagavat?
Yes, Maharaj. Yes.
Krishna.
Great chanting, you guys. You guys are so fortunate. You have the shelter of the Lord.
Morning, Lolita.
Morning.
Oh. 1 minute. I have a nosebleed, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you know, and anytime you want to say anything, if you feel inspired, do it.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'm going to read from the a moment. From Madhya where Tom left off. Where Tom left off yesterday, I think. We'll start from the top. Thank you, Maharaj. All glories to your wonderful lotus feet. Thank you for putting me on this platform to be able to share in the gift of Lord Chaitanya, pure love of God, Prema Bhakti. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's Madhya 25. Oh. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. The dead son of Srivas Pandit elucidates the truth. I think that's the right word. Okay. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. So we're just coming from when the Srivas' son woke up and from his death and spoke these words to Sri Chaitanya, and the women were lamenting, and Srivas pacified them by telling them the absolute truth of the son is not dead. He didn't speak that, but his son is not dead. He's just moving on. Okay, excuse me. The Lord said, "Listen, Srivas, you are well conversant with the knowledge of family and material life, and you are unaffected by the distressful conditions of family life. Not only that, but you are so elevated that anyone who sees you will also become free from this entanglement." Nityananda and myself are your two sons. are your two sons. So remove the pain of loss and separation in your heart. The Lord said, I'm reading it again. The Lord said, listen, Shrivas, you are well conversant with the knowledge of family life and family and material life, and you are unaffected by the distressful conditions of family life. Not only that, but you are so elevated that anyone you are so elevated that anyone who sees you will also become free from this entanglement. Michinanda and myself. Are your two sons. So remove the pain of loss and separation in your heart. The devotees jubilantly agreed. These words of divine compassion and love from the Lord. These devotees jubilantly agreed. Sorry, I have to clean my eyes. The devotees jubilantly greeted these words of divine compassion and love from the Lord. The Lord accompanied all the devotees as they carried Srivasa's son to the Ganga, performing kirtan all the way. The required rites completed, everyone bathed in the Ganga, and each went his own way home, chanting the holy name of Krishna. Srivasa's family went back peacefully and satisfied by the last rites. Srivasa's family went back peacefully and satisfied by the last rites. In my understanding, they have come away. The ladies have come away from feeling lamented about their son passing away from this life to maybe a new life. The conclusive truth is that he has not died. It's just the body that has died. There is really, excuse me, no reason for the ladies to lament in that way. And now that they have done material rituals of the last rites of Srivasa's son, the ladies are pacified. That pain in their heart is extinguished, is gone away because of understanding conclusive truth of the death of Srivasa's son. And they are in transcendental peace, in peace, and pacified, satisfied, and pacified of the son passing away. His soul has moved on, and there's no need to really lament in that way. It just shows, the more we lament, it just shows how attached we are to that person. In this case, to this person.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
All these confidential pastimes sensual pastimes of the Lord are extraordinary, and faithfully hearing of these narrations bestows pure love of Sri Hari. I offer my obeisances. I offer my obeisances at the lotus feet of Srivas, whose sons are none other than my Nityananda and Gaurachandra. These were the wonderful pastimes enacted in Navadvip, and they are known and seen only by devotees. Madhyakanda has tried to describe the pastimes of the dead boy speaking words of wisdom to the best of the author's ability. The Lord was so deeply immersed in the ocean of love of Krishna that he had no attraction for family life. He could not even properly perform worship of the deities. What to speak of doing other activities? And this is why, Maharaj, he talks a lot about external worship. And here it is so clearly written that not even the Lord could perform deity worship. What's the other thing? He could not do deity worship or do other activities. And this is what happens in ecstasy when you are in internal worship of the Lord in your temple. That ecstasy, it prevents you from doing that external worship that the Vaidis do, because you have gone past that. You've gone past that, and you are going deeper and deeper into your relationship with the Lord. You're not on the outside anymore. You're not on the outside. You've dived fully into the honey jar of the ocean of transcendental love of God. You don't want to stay on the outside anymore. Not even the Lord could do that. And he was showing us, living the path that we, for us, showing us the path that we need to follow ourselves to the deep, what's the right word, Krishna? Excuse me. And here, so clearly stating, as we follow this path of the Lord in his ecstatic worship, you can't do this external worship of constant deity worship and rituals and all the things that go on in a day of the life of a Vaidhi, every day, in fact, for years and years and years. Okay. Because those things are not important. They're not important anymore. It's like having toys when we're children and we play with these toys, and then we go past them. We go past playing with those toys and we do something else. In this case, it's going deeper in our relationship with the Lord, in our heart, and building that, because we of the Lord awoken in our heart. We can grow on that foundation. And we will always, as we listen, we will always stay strong and solid in our worship, in our devotional service for the Lord's lotus feet. People want to add things the devotees want to add things as well, that would be nice. Thank you. As the Lord would sit down to, sorry, I'm reading again. As the Lord would sit down to worship, the deities after bathing, his clothes would become drenched with tears of love, Krishna Prem.
Isn't it nice to be able to relate to this? Aren't you the lucky? Oh, she's the luckiest girl in the world, man. She could sit on her throne there and be drenched with tears now too. Wow.
And
Then
sweat.
the Lord, it's amazing. He wants to get us to get in on this action, man. That's why he came. Man. I tell you, man. If people knew what it's all about, Krishna, it's all about this. It's all about this. Everything what we're doing here, to feel the shelter of the Lord is you feel like the Lord comes as His name, and you know what that means. Yeah, man. I just open my mouth to chant His name, and I become ecstatic with His presence, being close to Him, and I'm uplifted. Man, I'm happy. I'm in love, and fireworks are off, and this is the honeymoon is never over. Yeah, so you're very fortunate. Krishna is giving you the greatest thing, the greatest. This is what life is all about. There ain't anything, and there is no other treasure out there any better than this one. Everything else is material. This is the only spiritual thing. This is reality, eternal reality, and you'll just go on relishing the Lord's transcendental presence deeper and deeper forever. And that goes for everybody else. I don't care if you're not getting it yet. Doesn't matter. You're going to get it. You might be just a little seed, and that'll sprout at some point. And yeah. So you want to speed up the process? Just stick around, man. No matter what. Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Can I just say something, Maharaj?
Of course.
I've been talking to this really nice, sincere devotee who's in really, actually really deep external worship of Radharani. Really, it's Radhe Radhe, and from awakening at 12 o'clock at night to all day doing worship in all the different types of worship they do.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice, and it puts them in a certain place.
yeah.
But today I was just asking him about, I was asking him how he felt. How does Radharani make him feel?
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't understand. He couldn't bring out anything. So I said to him, because he says, because of my language as well. So I asked him to explain in his language, so I translated, and he was not able to do it. So I just thought, you think about that. You think about how it feels, and then you tell me later on. But it was really difficult for him to explain these kind of feelings, and I know can be difficult to explain them. But he does this rich. He does his life is just a living rituals of Radharani and the rituals. And I also spoke to recently another devotee who is the son of a Brahmin, and they've been worshipping in this same temple for just under 800 years. And because he's born, it's that same thing you talk about, because he's born in a Brahmin family and they've been doing it for this long, it gives them this, because they're born, it gives them that right to be able to worship in this way. But even though it sounds really, wow, 800 years of worship in this temple and having this family line going back 800 years, he said that it was his grandson, Krishna's grandson, that built that temple that they worship in. And from 5,000, this is how I worked it out, from 5,000 years ago to 800 years ago now, I don't see how it could be Krishna's grandson that built that temple. I don't think his
No,
grandson.
it's just, yeah, I'm not impressed with that stuff. I mean, look at the Jagannath temple. Still, after all these years, they still won't let people with a different color skin in their temple. It's just ridiculous. It's just mundane. But that shows you the spiritual potency is very rare to understand. People, this Holy Spirit devotion is from outside of this universe. It's not the Maya is the external representation. And yeah, these people doing rituals all day long, that's what they do. And that's why, hey, if he can't give you an answer like how do you feel? Well, just nothing. I mean, then he's not feeling it. He's just doing it, going through the rituals, and people are inspired to do it. I mean, they call that blind adherence to the rules, regulations, and the rituals of worship. And they that's their inspiration. They'll get up early. They get up, wow, I can do this and make this, and it's like yeah. So but it's not like this is different. This is you ask how you feel. Well, God, I feel so enlivened, and I mean, it's pretty obvious. You feel what you feel. You're feeling, and you can describe the something. So this external thing. I mean, after a while, you won't be impressed with this. This is impressive. I mean, this is uh, this is impressive devotional service. This is impressive, literally. Ultimately, people say, "Wow, this is this is why this is hidden. It's hidden unless the Lord allows you to see it." And the only way to really do, you have to just keep you keep showing it. You know how they do like predictive programming in the movies. They show you what to be. Well, you got to just keep doing this and keep showing reality in this illusion. Just keep showing this is real, this is real, this is real. And after a while, it gets through because it's real. The other stuff is all they're all just telling lies in this Maya, and it becomes real because they tell the lie enough that people believe it. But it's still a lie. This is what keeps everybody weak under the devil or the Maya. You're chained. Your soul is chained. You become crippled. You have no. You're not a. We're here meant to be like spiritual masters of the spirit, literally. And be mastered by the spirit. Be under the influence of what is spiritual, because that's the real life. Otherwise, there's no life in this world. So, people, you see, the more you get into this, the more you can see, you look at people's eyes, they're either dark or there's life in them. This is the life. This is from the spiritual world. Everything else is encased in the Lord's Maya. I love he throws me like a rubber ball. Okay, yeah, boy, he's got a lot to say. Okay, go ahead, read on.
Maharaj, because of my experience now and where I am and being purified, I understand how people can get deluded by that stuff and get impressed by it. Mm-hmm. But because I have this now, no, it doesn't impress me, and because this is stronger and deeper, without this, you can get kind of deluded by that kind of stuff.
Of course, this is what lifts you out of it. This is the higher taste of truth, reality. And that's why we just have to keep associating with this. You keep associating with the pastimes of the Lord and his name, and you stay always protected. Because if you ever stop chanting, and basically when you're chanting, you're serving the name. You're serving the name. When you're chanting the pastime, you're serving the Lord's happiness. If you stop serving the Lord's transcendental happiness, then the Maya just rolls in, and then you start serving her happiness, which is mundane and material, and all of a sudden everything becomes really hard and difficult, bewildering. You become, bewildered, and so you got to just keep. I mean, especially people want to get out of material consciousness. This is sadhu sangha like this every day, hearing about the truth, just making an impression, the truth, and then after a while you live in on the truth, and then you get the knack, and you stay with the truth, and then it becomes forever. Because especially when you become ecstatic, that means you've achieved the shelter of Krishna. See, when you become ecstatic, that means you have the shelter of Krishna and Radha, because Radha is awakened in your heart to give you the attachment to the transcendental Lord, his name and his pastimes. So you need them both, and you just stay like that forever, and and it just goes deeper and deeper. You pass from the body like Narada Muni did, and then you got your immediately transcendental situated is, so maybe you get a vina or something, I don't know, whatever instrument you like, harp.
These two.
I want a banjo. When I pass him, I want a banjo, man.
It was really nice experience of these two devotees, and how of being in this deeper ecstasy and this deeper devotion, how clear it is.
Yeah.
How clear it is. This
You can see. Yeah.
More than before.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay. Unrestrainedly, tears flowed from his eyes. Such were the spiritual emotions surging within him. He would immediately come out of the deity room and changed into fresh clothes. Again, in a matter of moments, his clothes would become soaked with the tears of spiritual love. In this way, he was unable to perform any worship of the deity. Ultimately, he would request Gaddadhar Pandit to offer worship to the deity, saying that he himself was not fortunate enough to be able to worship the deity. Such were the super mundane activities of the Lord of Vaikuntha, and he relished the nectar of Krishna Prema.
And that was kind of a tricky thing. He was not fortunate enough to worship the deity. He was worshiping the deity in the best way.
Yeah.
See, with the tears and all of that. And that's the real worship, is this kind of worship. See, this is what we need to clarify. We need to teach the world this. Otherwise, people think worshiping the deity is better than that kind of worship he was doing. His things are drenched and everything. No, hey man, that's like devotion. The Lord that's what he loves. He only loves really devotion. Everything else is insignificant. Just like that's why you see Vaidhi Bhakti becomes insignificant to a devotee who has devotion. It's like, oh, it's external. Oh yeah, you worship Radha from the day to night and everything. And yeah. How much devotion is there? Devotion. What's that? See, this is the Lord came here to teach this, and we're here to teach the glories of ecstatic worship. Otherwise, people don't know what is real. They don't know how to get over Vaishnava aparad because they continue to make offenses to Vaishnavas. This was Bhakti Vinod was seeing the same thing that Prabhupada saw, and I'm seeing also. People always committing offensive to real Vaishnavas, and they don't know it because they still, after all of this time since Bhakti Vinod, still have not discerned what is a real Vaishnava. In any of these groups, they don't know. Yeah, the real Vaishnava, when they chant the holy name, you can see they have the shelter of Radha and Krishna because love of Krishna awakens in their heart, and its symptoms and signs. That's a Vaishnava. And you go against them and you hate them. You wonder why ecstatic devotion doesn't awaken in you. Well, that's why. You're Vaishnava Aparad. People don't know that. Nobody teaches. These gurus don't teach it because they don't know. They probably do the same thing if they see a real Vaishnava. Oh, this person's a Sahaja. I guess Lord Chaitanya was a Sahaja too, huh? For he was crying all the time. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu, on my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, humbly offer the song at their lotus feet. This ends that chapter.
Hey, Karuna, can you stop commenting enough? I mean, it's enough comments. I mean, all you do is blah, 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 blah. I mean, let people listen to the reading. And otherwise, you put their attention on. I mean, why don't you listen to the reading? And always commenting. I mean, that's enough. You'd already commented like every 2 seconds. There's some kind of thing there. Occasionally from, if you get it's just one after another, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I mean, I could see a comment, making from the heart once in a while, but from your mind all the time, I don't need any more of that stuff. Okay, go ahead there, River.
So I'm going to start the next chapter, Maharaj. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You don't have to ask permission.
Madhya Kunda, chapter 26. Sri Chaitanya bestows mercy upon Suklambar and decides to take sannyas. All glory to Sri Gaurachandra, the supreme purifier of the entire world, mercifully offered to me upon the seat of my heart your lotus feet. One day, wishing to bestow his mercy, the Lord went to the house of Suklambar Brahmachari and begged for food from him. The Lord said, I feel an uncontrollable desire to eat your food. Believe me, there is no reason for you to be anxious. The Lord persistently requested Suklambar, but Suklambar pleaded with the Lord, saying, Oh Lord, I am a most sinful person, despicable and worse, and you are the symbol of religious principles. So, oh Lord, oh Lord, rather you should give shelter to me, who is comparable to an insignificant insect caught up in the material illusion. We are all caught up in this material illusion in some way or another. But as we surrender to the bona fide spiritual master who has mastered these teachings, who is out of this illusion, we too can be on that platform of attaining the Lord in our heart. If we regularly hear and hear and hear the words of absolute truth emanating to our heart, to extinguish those chains and shackles around the heart. The Lord replied, saying, do not consider my request to be an illusion. I very much want to I very much want to eat food cooked by you. Go quickly. and arrange for everything. At midday, I will come to your house. However, Sukalambar was still quite in anxiety, and so he approached the other devotees for comfort. They spoke reassuringly. Why should you be afraid? He is none other. He is none other than the Supreme Lord. It is his nature to search out devotees who worship him with single-mindedness and form. Then he likes to beg food. Okay. It is his nature to search out devotees who worship him with single-mindedness and form. Then he likes to beg food. Remember that he ate at the house of Vijura, who was the son of Shuddha. Therefore, you quickly go to your house and prepare to cook for the Lord and with care and devotion. If you are still nervous, then try to If you are still nervous, then try to cook without directly touching the food. You are very fortunate to have received the wonderful opportunity from the Lord.
You know, somebody just had a question. Let me just quickly answer. The relationship between Lord Caitanya and Gaddadhar Pandit. You know, for myself, I don't see it gone into a lot of detail, but basically, okay, I'll tell you what I've seen. I went to Mayapur, and there's a guy there worshiping Gaur Gaddadhar, and he has Gaddadhar, you know, with breasts, you know, and like looking like Radharani and all that stuff. And to me, at least look kind of, come on, man, you know, what are you doing, you know? And he was definitely a sahaja. I mean, I know, you know, I interacted with him, I talked with him, and he was just material, and he was imitating the symptoms and all these things. So what I would say, basically, Gaddadhar, what I've read personally, and is, of course, he's considered Radharani's potency in this form here in this world, like what do you call, like the ray of it or something. But he acted befittingly, you know, like as far as I can see, you know, and he acted like a devotee, you know, he worshiped the Lord. He was very devoted to the Lord, to Lord Caitanya, as like Krishna, you know, in that sense, just like a devotee. Even Radharani's like that. And so I just like to leave it at like that. He was, you know, acting okay. He was like conjugal, mellow, and but whether he externally was, you know, doing stuff very intimate, I don't know, you know, and I don't care, you know, I don't like to get into it because it's like ridiculous. People become, you know, they're not even qualified to even know things, you know, and they end up getting confused and all that. He was like, you know, in the conjugal mellow, and he was a devotee, he had devotion for the Lord. That's the main thing. Just keep it like that. There's always, been a lot of controversy around that. They call the Naga Naharis or something. I don't know. But anyway, the Lord has his particular form and incarnation. And he was, he was like so dedicated to Lord Chaitanya, and he would read Srimad Bhagavatam in so much ecstasy that tears would erase the writings in there. He was just, that's a symptom of a very exalted devotee. So many tears. So, that's my answer. I don't I don't like to get into intellectually into all these things that most people don't even have any ability, even at the stage where we're at, and to get into these more, make it more confidential, like I said, when I went to Mayapur and I saw the guy put Gaddadhar there, and Gaddadhar has breasts, and come on, man. I'm not into it. Personally, I'm just not into that. Don't need this. This confuses people, especially in the world. It's one thing to show devotion, because that's why the Lord is here. Show the glories of devotion, the glories of ecstatic worship. Hey, man, let everybody get to that platform, instead of trying to analyze all these higher rasas. This is what I've seen in the Narayan Raj group. They're all and Radhaku, all analyze the higher rasas without being in them. And then they start thinking they're in there, but it's only a thought. It's only thinking. It's not here, and then everything starts to get really confused. And there's pride mixed in there and all these things. Anyway, it's not what I like to do. I just, just come here, get awakened, get devotion awakened, and relish these wonderful pastimes like River does. In that ecstasy. Now you're delivered, man. No more birth and death for her. She has, Lord Brahma says, those who evince the symptoms of ecstasy. That's what you see here. These symptoms. Tears in the eyes, standing in the hair, choking in the voice. They are promoted to the kingdom of God. They don't take another birth. So that's what we do here. We're here to birth people, give them their second birth, and everything will start flying from there, there's so much intellectual trying to analyze these rasas and everything, but nobody's got this. Nobody's even close to this. And so Vaishnavism is very infantile in that way. You want some maturity, you have to be awoken. And that's what we're here to do. Yeah, I haven't seen, there's nobody that I've seen that can do what we're doing here. This is specially blessed by the disciplic line in Lord Chaitanya and Radha and Krishna. Very, very specially blessed. As I said, you show us some demonstrate, then nobody will. Nobody comes. Not even a guru will come and have a discussion. None. They don't see this of value. See, well, I beg to differ. This is extremely valuable. This is the most valuable thing in Krishna consciousness, what people are seeing here. And if you don't acknowledge that, well, then you missed the boat. Still going to go on preaching, man. Going to go on tasting, go on growing, man, and go on getting more powerful for the Lord, more empowered to do the Lord's mission here in the world, to do as best we can, to promote this. Otherwise, it's just mundane religion. What is that? It means, there's been it's same old, same old. This is very different. This is really important. Go ahead there, River. Read on.
You are very fortunate to have received this wonderful opportunity from the Lord. The Brahmin, Suklambar, hurried home, feeling exceedingly elated, feeling clean after bathing.
Yeah, this sexual relationship between Gaddadhar and this, it didn't exist. This is speculation, these guys. And the guy was very much into women and stuff like that. He was a nice guy, but just real classic Sahaja. Krishna, put me in a lot of experience. I got to see some stuff,
Yeah.
I got to see, yeah. And the guy could not even see the kind of bhakti that, that this fool was carrying. Couldn't even see it, man. It was completely, yeah. So, that shows me right there. You can't even recognize a devotee. I can recognize a sahaja, but you couldn't recognize a devotee. Then he sends me to a sahaja, another one. He says, "Oh, this guy's a very advanced guy." He sends me to this sahaja, and I want to check him out, And the guy's crying, a little bit, or I don't know, some kind of emotion stuff. And he looks at me and then he says, and he starts giving me names of transcendental names, like, "Oh, you're this and this guy and that guy." They like the woo-woo, like a new age Vaishnavas type thing, woo-woos, oh, very mystical. Yeah, give me all these spiritual names. Oh, you were this in this life. And yeah. I said, "Oh, yeah, okay." Yeah, go ahead.
Feeling clean after bathing, Suklambar put scented water on the fire for cooking rice.
Oh, Manorama sent you to him. Yeah, you see, she's also, yeah, it explains everything. I'll tell you how advanced he is, right? She's always, I mean, I got to say this. She always misled from every step. After she left here, she's misled one after another. Totally and still didn't get it, man. Still doesn't get it. Amazing. Anyway, go ahead. Maybe someday. If not in the next life, she'll figure it out. Krishna will help her.
He also begins to cook a delicacy prepared from the pith of banana tree trunk. While this cooking was in progress, Suklambar folded his hands and began to sing the names of the Lord, praising and invoking his grace. Attracted by Suklambar's devotion, Lakshmi Devi, the universal mother and goddess of fortune.
Lord Chaitanya said every word in Srimad Bhagavatam, and that includes this book and all these books written by devotees, is full of prema. See, you can see how she reads, see how Lalita reads. You read better than me, this, because every word they're picking up is like prema. See, this is it. See? This was the way Lord Chaitanya read, and they're starting to read like that. If people knew what was going on here, they would pee their pants, poop their pants. The grace that Lord Chaitanya is giving in this Sangha is going to take a little while for people to figure out. So we have to help them a little bit. We have a lot of ammunition here, a lot of books of Prabhupada, and the Goswamis and this book, and oh man. Ignorance will not be able to survive. False conceptions and false arguments and illusionists are going to gone.
Be extinguished while the Lord's potency.
Yeah.
Attracted by Suklambar's devotion, Lakshmi Devi, the universal mother and goddess of fortune, blessed the Brahmana's endeavor with his favorite glance. The detectable taste of aroma immediately mixed with the food. Meanwhile, Vishwambara had completed his bath and came, accompanied by Nityana. Accompanied by Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees to Suklambar's house in dripping clothes. Dripping clothes. Meanwhile, Vishwambara had completed his bath and came, accompanied by Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees to Suklambar's house in dripping clothes. Suklambar's humble dwelling was situated on the banks of the
You know, one thing I want to say also is this true potency of the Lord, true potency. Lord Chaitanya came to give this real deep level of ecstatic devotion is so hard to attain. That's why you see people trying to do whatever they can to imitate it, because they can't get it. They want it, but they can't get it. No matter they try this way and that way, and so they start to fantasize, different things. Like they'll start reading the Goswami books, and they start fantasizing that they're there or believe it, and they start speculating on what it is, that's because you can't. There's only one way to attain it is by association with the real associate. It's a gift, just like the Lord came here. He said, "For a long time, I have not given this love of the residents of Vrindavan to this world. I have not given it as a gift." Yeah. So, in other words, you can't attain it doing all these other paths and everything. And the other, no, it just doesn't exist unless it's brought here either by the Lord as a devotee or a devotee. That's the only way you can get it. So he's got to come through the disciplic line like that. See, that's why we have a disciplic line. Yeah. And that's why it works here, because this shows this is authorized, this is real, this is authentic, this is the real one, this is not a fake one. All these esoteric books are normally meant for ecstatic. Exactly, that's what they are. Ordinary devotees who read them only get puffed up, exactly, and thinking they entered the yeah. And I've seen this so many times. Because people want to do it. Yeah, you want to, but you got to go in the door. You have to go the right way. You got to listen to the right empowered devotee. They're very rare, right? To enter into Vrindavan. Look what she's doing. This kind of reading here in Lalita Ganga, that's entrance into Vrindavan. That's how they are. They just by being in touch with either the name of Krishna or Lord Chaitanya is a conjugal, and you just are awakened and become ecstatic and enlivened. See, this is why if you have to go through the right door for that, and that's the real devotees, the real representative. Otherwise, you won't read like that. You show me any guru reads like that. They won't. There is not one. If I'll prove me wrong, it's okay. I mean, show me one, and I'll say, oh, okay, I was wrong. There's one there, but nobody ever comes. Nobody ever shows. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, as Amy says, you are the door. Yeah, well, and then now we're making more doors here. See, association with River. You wanna get closer. You come and learn from her. How she went in. You see, those who go in the door become the shepherd of the sheep, and then you just know how to go in. Like if I disappear, you're going to get it from her preaching, or Lalita's preaching, or Johan's preaching, when you become attracted to that, and see, now you're on the path of Raganuga Bhakti, you're attracted to an intimate devotee's worship of Radha and Krishna. Most people aren't. They think they're actually teachers and gurus and followers in ISKCON and all that, but they're not attracted to this kind of worship. But you guys are. See, you came and you liked this kind of worship. You said, oh yeah, I'd like to also. See, that's Raganuga Bhakti, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rag Vartma Chandrika. That book teaches, yeah, that's qualification. You want to worship like this? They don't want to worship like this. They like the rules, regulations, or just put on a show about it. A lot of them, they don't follow the rules. They're just lip service. I mean, even back when Lord Chaitanya was here, he said people just most of them give lip service to the rules. So I don't even give lip service. I don't strictly follow things. I don't have to. I strictly follow this path. I stay close to Krishna. I know if I don't, I'm screwed. Maya will screw me. She always does. She screws everybody. That's her job. Yeah. Go ahead. Read a little bit more.
Suklambar's humble dwelling was situated on the banks of the Ganga. Vishambar soon changed to dry clothes and sat down to eat. The Lord served himself according to his wish, as Suklambar watched him with intense pleasure. The Lord served himself according to his wish, as Suklambar watched him with intense pleasure. As the Lord relished the food, all the devotees looked on with great delight.
It's amazing. Krishna's really made it easy. You don't even have to cook a meal for the Lord. All you have to do is open your mouth and you start cooking. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You're making a meal for the Lord, And with you look on devotees, you get that's called you're looking on with great pleasure, serving the Lord, doing the cooking. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The Lord's eating those words, man. You ever heard this thing? Eat my words. See, the Lord says, I want to eat my devotees' words, man. That name is substance. That name is treasure. That name is food. Hey, what did Jesus say? I'm the bread of life. The name of God is the bread of life. It's bread, man. Transcendental bread. This is what is amazing, The Lord says, I come as my name. Eat me. It's great. I mean, I love the way the Lord's made it so easy, man. You just got to feed the Lord, open your mouth, chant Hare Krishna, man. Just you feel, and the Lord's really happy, and He's lifted, and you're lifted. This is why this is a principle of Sadhu Sangha, is the hearers are lifted, and the speaker is lifted. See, so it starts with, that's why two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. That's what Jesus said, And it starts with two is the devotee and the Lord. Even if they're alone, they're uplifted. And if anybody listens, they're also uplifted if they listen and they're not offended. Yeah. I love that one. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now the thing is, people are eating words too, but they're not always. See, that's the shadow God. See, a lot of people are eating Fauci's words or Bill Gates' words. See, and what do they do? What does it do? It makes them depressed, fearful, suicidal. You notice a lot of suicides out now, people depressed, a lot of alcohol consumption's up, misery. Where's that coming from? Oh, you listen to Biden's words. You listen to the Democrats. You listen to uh, um, Fauci and Bill Gates, and guaranteed depression. Guaranteed. And they'll all think, "Whoa, we're just trying to keep you safe." Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, thank you very much. Governor of California, oh, we just want to keep you safe. The whole state is destroyed practically. Complete mess, California. New York also. Draconian rule. Oh, we just want to keep you safe. You do everything, See, so that's the word. See, that's your God. See, people don't know. They think the word of God, in the beginning was the word, was God's word. But if you really go deep into this, it's the word of Maya and the word of the transcendental Lord. See, so the words come through people. You notice?
Yeah.
People. The words come through. I only use, by the way, Billy Boy, Gates, and Fauci. I have nothing against you, but you're good for my preaching. Thank you very much for your service. Really. I mean, honestly, I have nothing against what you're doing. You're serving the Lord's purpose in a way, and if people are stupid, listen to your word, they're going to bear the result of that. And it's not very good, as we see. The whole world is messed up. It's all, So in the beginning was the word. Now, the beginning of your spiritual life or material life, in the beginning is the word. See? What word you're listening to. This is why it's the sound. You hear the mantra from supposedly a real guru, who has a transcendental sound. That's the beginning of your spiritual life. You hear that sound and you start to get purified. See, to the point of the awakening. See, now, the word is bringing you to process purification to awakening. See, now that's the word of God. Comes through the real representative of God, of Krishna. When I say God, the transcendental God, not the Luciferian God, not the Maya God, the Mahamaya. See, so in the beginning of your material life is the word. See? You listen to in the world, you listen to your authorities, right? And usually, as we're finding out, they're incredibly corrupt. The whole system in America is one big corrupt thing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I just listened yesterday. It is a scam. The whole thing is a friggin' scam. And it's all coming to light. I mean, after a while, everybody's going to see it because the Lord just wants to reveal everything. He wants to, at one point, he's going to say, "Hey, do you see? My Maya's cheated you. She always does. Now, are you ready to come back home? You ready, prodigal sons and daughters?" That's what's happening. So in the beginning of your material life is the word, by listening to the government. See, the government, people are like children, when you don't have spiritual knowledge or full knowledge, you're just going to be apt to listen to various forms of Maya's words in the world, and you'll be ruled by those words. That's your God. That's why you see people, they walk down the street with, I'm now double mass. I see quite a few now, double mass. I say, oh, they're listening to Fauci. That's their God. They're following his order. And so anyway, you could say it's like training wheels. Eventually, you're going to listen to a higher word, the word that'll liberate you. And that comes from the Lord's real servants. The words here liberate people. And proof of that is these kinds of readings like this. When devotees read in ecstasy, they're delivered. Okay, next. Anybody else? And then next. Come on, let's wake people up, man. Yeah. Anybody interested? Rather have Maha Mantra. The word exposes everything. Yeah, it does. Do you want to expose quickly or slowly? If you quickly is you chant in association of ecstatic devotees, and quickly. Alone, okay, it's good too if you keep it up. Or if you chant it with Vaidhi Bhaktas, also slower. I mean, I'm here to teach the quick way, just like the Lord taught the quick way. The quick way, I just teach what he teaches. I just repeat like a parrot his teachings. Stay. Same thing. He came with his ecstatic devotees. You come in that association, you very quickly are raised to the spiritual platform. Yeah, you come here. You come. The ecstatic devotees are here. You come and regularly, and then you will be raised to the spiritual platform. You will know what is spirit. Otherwise, yeah, no Vaidhi. Yeah. More and more, I don't like my mentality. I see. Replying to. I more and more don't like my mentality anymore. Uh, yeah, good. Just the thing is, the Lord will replace everything. He's like an upgrader. All you do is stay and associate. It's nothing artificial. It just does the upgrade naturally by nature. We're just the soul awakens and we have a natural relationship with the Lord, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. You know. There's no amount of money in the world that you could give me for the wealth of charity. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now see, that's an example. That's a witness that this is real wealth. People don't know that. People think real wealth is something else. Real wealth is to be able to feel the Lord's close transcendental association. Because that liberates you from the cycle of birth and death. Yeah. Nothing else really will. Everything is it's very hard to get free. Yeah. Yeah, and that's how you feel. Anybody that gets this potency, you will not trade it for even all of Bill Gates' wealth. Now, doesn't that prove that this is real wealth? Can you imagine any better proof than that? You show me anything that anybody can possess in this world that they would not trade for all the wealth of Bill Gates. Nothing. They won't. Well, maybe they won't trade their son or their daughter and their relate, but it's still material. See, so they keep their son and their daughter, because and they won't trade it for all the wealth because of the attachment. But it's still, they're going to take another birth because of it. See? But when your wealth is the transcendental Lord, His form, Him as your child or friend and beloved, now that's real wealth. If you won't trade that, that means this is really special. Mm-hmm. So I don't trust them, the real blessings, what to say about counting the blessed. Yeah, Free Willy. Free Willy. Yeah. I think we'll stop here. Stop here. Thank you very much there.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. Thank you for reading. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm not up to snuff. My body is really So we did a couple of ones already, like an hour and a half and probably 2 hours before that. Yeah, we're holding the line, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daphne. Which Daphne is this one? Is that Daphne from over there in the UK area? Okay, if anybody's missed any of this, you can watch the replay.
Great,
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Freddie.
Oh, happy birthday there, Freddie. I didn't know it was your birthday. Didn't get it.
I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.